Good morning,
Hey
everyone.
everybody! No, I am not on camera today. I actually have a face covered with mosquito bites. Long story. They love me. I'm like the nectar of the gods to these people. People? No, they're insects. Squirrel.
Sammy, you're delicious. What can I say?
Yummy, yum, yum, yum. Trilla. Okay, that took a turn. Anyway, you got Chris Persia first. Okay,
And
congratulations,
good
hon.
man.
Atta boy. Great to see you, Darth Haster, our wrench extraordinaire. Thank you for coming in today. I'm still
Thank
drinking
you, love.
coffee. Captain Trek, good morning, handsome. How are you? I hope you're feeling good today. Mark, the infinitely tired. Yes, once again, squirrel. There it goes. Okay. Who else is hanging out this morning? Eris! What's up, girl? The Battle Angel is here. Psycho Dwarf 9. Hey, handsome. What's going on? Live at the Love Shack has come in. Story. Hey, sister. What's going on? Hey, Lori.
All our ladies are in today.
Saucy wench. Yeah, the girls are in the house. Holy shit.
Let me
Darth
scroll back up
Monkey.
and get some
Yeah,
of
I'm
our
scrolling
gentlemen.
down at the Mountains of Elysium. Squirrel. Hi, Pudgy
Cobalt
and
and Pudgy.
Cobalt.
Hello, boys.
Oh, he's pushing a hot dog cart today? Aw, that's so
Oh,
sweet.
that's so cute.
I'm down with hot dogs. Let's do it.
Little teeny tiny hot dog cart.
Yeah.
Darth Monkey Aura, hello, my love. Who else have we got? Chris
Oh,
Persia,
Bird is
we've
here.
said.
Hey, Bird.
Kababad. Psycho
Kapla,
Dwarf
my
9.
friend.
Hello.
Oh, Story finally. Okay, finally, because poor Eris was like, was it you guys? We're like, no. But I do have to say, Purple called it. She's like, no, it was probably Starry-Eyed Girl. So nailed
It's
it.
gorgeous. We love it.
I know
So
it's
cool.
beautiful. It's really beautiful. Darth Hester is going to lurk in the shadows. Excellent. You can
Thank
lurk
you.
away, my friend. Lurk away. Just watch for trolls. That's all I ask.
Yes.
That's it. I think if we didn't address the elephant in the room, we'd be stupid. So hey, Robert. What's up, handsome? Yeah, that was pretty epic on behalf of the boss this morning.
Yes, it was. Can we get some fire in the chat for Loki?
Yeah, throw some fire in that chat for Loki, guys. Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think it's things that needed to be said. We've been sitting on a lot of this since, gosh, what, honey, the fall of last year.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it just got worse. Thanks, guys. It got worse, but right after the holidays. So, yeah, all this stuff has been going down, and it's worse than y'all think. I'm not gonna air my personal dirty laundry here right now. There's gonna come a time for that, but it's not today. The boss kind of said it all today, and I literally, guys, he's Loki was very upset, and he has every right in the world to be. But I was literally crawling under my desk, going, "Holy heck!" I mean, I was making up cuss words at that point. So, Dave G. Sound, I don't remember waking up. You may not be awake at this point. Thanks for all the fire, guys.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
And some blue hearts out there for Starry-Eyed Girl. Okay? Because that woman has seen a mountain of shit and lived to tell the tale.
Yes.
Lived to tell the tale. But yeah, I was literally crawling under my desk going, oh, Lord. Help us all. Oh, Eris is lurking as well. Well, honey, that's lurk away. I'm sure, you know, I don't mind lurkers either. There we go, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Why can't in full battle armor yet? Okay, first of Actually, I'm hoping to get my shield started this weekend. So, picks coming soon. I'm getting my armor together, actually. But you guys may not even recognize me in full battle armor. It'd be like, come at me, bro. Not the face, not the face, not the face.
Thank you, Mountains of Elysium. Appreciate it.
Hail the Valkyries. Yeah, thank you, Mountains of Elysium. Lighting fires. Yeah, and that's the thing. Alongside Loki.
Yes,
it's not
we stand together.
We all stand together. Shield wall, people. Shield wall. I hollered that in Valhalla this morning. But yeah, hey, number one sci-fi.
Good morning.
But yeah, together, side by side. Yeah, Mark, squirrel! Seriously, side by side. That's what it means. Not one above the other.
No.
Not bullshit being blown up our skirts, if you will, since, let's face it, girls in the room. Okay. About loyalty. Don't preach to me about loyalty. I've had 50 years on this planet to learn what loyalty is, and that's not it. That's petty. That's insensitive, and that's insecure little bitches who think it's perfectly okay to knock people when they're down. And fuck that. Fuck all of it. I'm doing in my head right now, I'm doing that cat that walks along the desk, that gif, and it's fuck this, fuck that, fuck this, fuck all of you, fuck you, fuck you. Because cat, I think I got all my fucks out. Thank God we're not monetized, and thank you, boss.
Yeah, probably would have just lost it.
But you know what? Fuck you, girls. That's right, girls. And some of y'all ought to know better, based on your fucking ages. But you're insecure, insensitive little vipers that need to be cut in half and pushed away. Right into the trash, right into the sewers, right where you fucking belong. So the next time you think it's a bright idea to come after me, come after my sisters, come after my boss, come after anybody in Valhalla, think again. Because it will not end well. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. There, I'm done. No smoke enemas. Thank you for that, Darth Haster. There's an image I needed today, squirrel. I'm just going to skate right by that. Pudgy, are you going to take 10? Ooh, oatmeal cookies? We're going to have to bring in our guest soon. If there's oatmeal cookies, we're going to have to bring him in.
Yes, and he is here.
Is he here?
He is here indeed. Absolutely.
Excellent. So we are going to officially move on to our subject for today, which is going to be, yes, like the scroll says, the history and mystery of Edinburgh Castle and Edinburgh, the town.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we're going to bring in our special guest now. So roll it, babe.
Introducing the one and only Generalissimo Jefe.
Hola.
Now you guys, there he is. Hola, ¿cómo está?
Oh. Yeah, squirrel.
Good morning.
His chair squeaks too, so he's good. For those of you who don't know, Generalissimo Jefe is my partner in crime. The reason I have all this technology. He's my executive producer. Leader of the household, my other half, Generalissimo Jefe. And this is a man who has actually been to Edinburgh Castle. I have not. He plans on taking me. And it's a place that obviously Sarah has been to many times because she lives in the UK. So, guys, take it away. Yes. Educate me about Edinburgh.
Absolutely. Where should we start, Jeff? Shall we talk about the city itself for a little bit and then go on to the castle
Yeah, the whole, the city in general, the whole Royal Mile, because, while Edinburgh Castle there's way more, especially I think Sammy may be interested in what's on the other side of the Royal Mile from Edinburgh Castle.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, a little place called, the Upkilt. No,
Christ. Cobalt Palmer's Purple Lady Con?
That would be one very, very short con. Sorry, Cobalt.
But it'd be fun.
It'd be fun. It'd be like a pub crawl, which we're also planning, aren't we, Jeff?
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing that once you do visit with us, I'll show you. There's just, because it's Scotland and because it's Edinburgh, and Edinburgh is, when it was built as a walled city. So it was surrounded by what was called the Florin Wall. And as Edinburgh got more populated, it didn't get any bigger. So the population swelled and they had nowhere to go. So you have the Edinburgh Castle at the top. At the bottom is Holyrood Castle. And in between is what was Edinburgh. And it's about a mile and a half, I'd say, from one end to the other. So not exactly a big area for so many people to cram into. Nowadays,
and it's
obviously,
all uphill, isn't it? You have to go all uphill to get to the castle. And I'm like, no. Nope.
Well, that's why you start the day in the castle. And then once you're thoroughly exhausted, you kind of have gravity help you on your way down to Holyrood.
So literally just roll me down the hill then.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah. Because, of course, for you, Holyrood is the official Queen's residence in Scotland.
It is. That's correct, yes. So Edinburgh Castle is no longer a castle of residence. It's purely for tourists now. It was never, in Scottish history, it was never like the main castle. That would be Stirling Castle, where everything took part. But Edinburgh Castle was a fortress. That's what it was built for. That's why it's built so high up on a hill. It's got the huge vantage point, so everything, it can be seen for miles around. And as Jeff says, anyone attacking had a long trek uphill to get to them.
Yeah, it's actually, I believe, built on the plug of an old volcano. So it is nice and up high, and knowing what we all know about castles, and over the time being a high vantage point, being nice solid rock, I believe that they've been able to excavate and find stuff all the way well back into the Iron Age, and even some Stone Age stuff sitting up on top of there, and evidence that it's where people hung out.
Yes, absolutely. I think because it was such an important strategic area, as you say, it's always been used throughout history in one form or another.
Yeah, I mean, the Saxons obviously, well, I suppose they weren't the Saxons, I suppose they were the Picts up there, used it. And the first castle was right around the time of William the Conqueror. I don't think it was a Norman castle, but it was right around that same era. So it's been cast, what we think of as a castle, for almost 1,000 years now.
Yes. And if you've ever seen pictures of the castle itself now, it looks like it's actually grown out of the hillside. It almost looks organic the way it's been built.
It is. It's so beautiful.
I know Sarah has shown me pictures from her vantage point, being on, I think, were you at Holyrood, or were you just on the road up to the castle?
On the road up to the castle, those ones were, yep.
Okay, yeah, you're right. It looks like it's coming out of the rocks on the hillside at this point, with all the vegetation that's grown up around it. It's
kind of, it's like the archetypal, what you think of when you think of a castle, basically. In the UK, there are so many castles. I mean, a lot of them are ruins. The nearest one to me would be Warwick Castle would be the nearest one to me.
Love Warwick.
Warwick is beautiful as well. And Warwick is an impressive structure, but I would say Edinburgh Castle is more so. Do you think, Jeff?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Edinburgh Castle is just massive. I mean, walking around it takes forever. Aw.
I know, right?
Okay, new goal for when I win the lottery.
Buy me a castle next.
Yes. Yeah. When the Powerball people get off their duffs and pick the right 6 numbers.
Squirrel.
But yeah, so combine the fact that as a castle itself, it is huge. I mean, the sheer acreage of it is huge. And then you put it, there's plenty of castles in the UK and throughout the world that are slightly on hills. You obviously always build them on a high point for obvious, defensive purposes. But this one is really, it's on top of this old volcanic plug. It is way up there. It's solid stone, solid rock going up to it. And like Purple Lady says, it feels like it's just organically grown out of this rock. I mean, you can kind of see it from the picture behind in the background here. And yet it just grows up. It's like suddenly we go from being cliffs to being stone walls. And, it's absolutely beautiful and imposing as all get out.
It looks imposing.
Mm-hmm. It does. So how long ago was it when you visited, Jeff?
I was probably 15 the last time I was there.
So what, like 10 years ago then?
Wow. Ego.
So it's been a bit. But yeah, it's been a while, but I definitely, and you know what? That's an interesting point. I would love to revisit it because anything you see when you're a teenager versus seeing when you're a grown-up, things were so huge back then, so incomprehensible.
Yes. I think the one thing that they do very well, I mean, obviously because it is such a huge tourist attraction, they're very, very careful when it comes to repairs. They're very careful keeping the aesthetic right in pretty much the entire town area. So it looks like a movie set almost. You take the tourists away. But Edinburgh itself has been a huge kind of inspiration for people like J.K. Rowling, for example. Took a lot of inspiration for the Harry Potter books on the looks of the buildings that she describes. And she most certainly took a lot from the Greyfriars Kirkyard in regards to names for her characters. That was unusual.
The Greyfriars, that sounds familiar.
Yes.
Okay. Would that be Godric's Hollow then, or?
Greyfriars is the kirkyard, so it's at the bottom of the hill. It's slightly away from the castle, but it's one of the oldest churches, probably in Scotland. But it's said that it's the highest density of human remains anywhere on the planet because people have been buried there for 800 years.
Well,
originally you had to go down a slope that was 4 meters down. Now to enter, you go up a hill that's 3 meters high, just to give you an idea of how much this churchyard has been used. But J.K. Rowling, because she was based in Edinburgh at the time, she used a lot of the names that she saw on the gravestones. A lot of the families were used as inspiration for characters. And even places like shops. Diagon Alley, for example, is very close to a series of shops in Edinburgh that you can kind of walk down.
Okay, I remember you also showing me a picture of a pub. There's a little dog outside of it.
That's Greyfriars Bobby. Yep.
That's it. Okay, that's the other place I knew Greyfriar from. Okay.
That's it. That's what it's named for. It's named for the little dog. It's been in films, I believe. There's been several films about Greyfriars Bobby.
Huh. Jeff, did you ever go in Greyfriars when you were there?
You know what? I'm going to say yes.
It's been about a hot minute, folks.
Yeah. But that's exactly the kind of place that we would have visited. I mean, I remember, we were in Edinburgh for quite a while. It wasn't just a little one-day stop. It was, we probably spent 4 or 5 days, if not more, there, because between obviously the castle, between Holyrood, between some of the other stuff going on that's just worth seeing in the town, it's well worth it. That's why I'm so insanely jealous of somebody like Purple Lady who can live there and just visit it any old time they want.
Mm-hmm.
We used to be able to. We can't do it at the moment. We're not even allowed to visit Scotland, unfortunately.
Oh, yes, and Hogsmeade. I didn't even think of Hogsmeade.
Yeah. Okay. Good points. I forgot about Hogsmeade.
Yeah. Oh, and you were talking about inspiring literature. Probably one of the, okay, I've never been into the show. That's a whole other squirrel discussion. But there was a very famous event that happened in David's Tower back in the Castle of Edinburgh. Yes. In like the mid 1400s, a little event known as the Black Dinner.
Yes.
Wait, is that like the Red Wedding?
Yep, it is.
Indeed.
So Game of Thrones too.
Yeah. So, at the time, I think the King of Scotland was like super young. I mean, he was like 9 or 10. I mean, we're talking a little kid. And one of the, and somebody who spent more time following Game of Thrones than me might be able to detail how similar this is to what actually happened. But yeah, you got the little bitty young King James, the something or other, I forget which number. But he was like 9
There's a lot
10.
of Jameses.
There are. Yeah, at some point, you give up trying to keep track of numbers. But another family, I think like the Douglases, were becoming super, super powerful. Of course, he being this little 9 or 10-year-old kid, he had a Lord Chancellor and he had regents and all that who were really running the show for him. So they invited the Earls of the Douglas family, who were also relatively young. They were like teenagers at the time. They came in, they had, under the auspices of making peace and bringing everybody together. And during the dinner, there was a black bull's head bought out and presented before this Earl Douglas. A black bull's head being very significant. And the 16-year-old Earl Douglas and his younger brother were then summarily taken out to the courtyard and beheaded. So much for making friends. But yeah, so I don't know how similar that is to the Red Wedding, but that was the Black Dinner, which apparently was supposed to be the inspiration for it.
That is very similar to what happened. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Let me just bring that up. Yes, in Starry Eyes said,
okay.
Yes, Martin took inspiration from English and Scottish royal history. There was a lot of it, especially between England and Scotland at that particular time. And there was always conflict. And then the conflict there was a truce because there was a marriage between Scotland and England. And then England went off to fight France, as is the natural order of things.
Always got to go after France. Dang it.
Yes. And then Scotland were honor bound because by marriage, not to invade England. So they kind of waved the English armies off. And the next thing they did, they rampaged across the border and started attacking.
Rampage! Toss out my Archer reference.
Sadly for Scotland, what they came up against was 10,000 English reserves. I think it was against 45, perhaps 1,000 Scottish troops. And Scotland lost. So that was probably one of their biggest defeats. for Scotland.
I'm laughing because Mexican Iron Man has just shown up. Hi, hon. He says, I want a castle, a Valkyrie, and a combo with chips. You want me to run that out, or do you want to just hit the drive-through? Sorry. What are the French doing in England? None of your business.
The French were trying to get into England, and England was like, no.
No.
Just no. No, thank you.
No. Go back to your little blue fort. Sorry. I'll shut up now. Yeah. Okay, bye.
Yeah,
sorry, Jeff, carry on.
One of my favorite little tidbits about that, and this is where I love the names that are given to some people, is that the Earl, after the 16-year-old Earl Douglas was killed, the next Earl of the Douglas clan was James the Gross.
Okay, what?
Yeah.
James all right.
James the Gross. I was just looking that up. It's like right now I'm getting very into the Saxon history of the UK. And there was one of the kings was a gentleman by the name of Ethelred the Unready. What did he screw up to become known in history?
Wow.
Ethelred the Unready.
Okay. I gotta go take Mexican Iron Man his order. I'll be back.
Oh my gosh. Jeff, you obviously know a lot about the history of the city. Did you kind of go into things like Burke and Hare as well, the body snatchers?
I did not. Are those the stuff that you hear about with like in Frankenstein and all that?
Very similar, yes. Okay. So at the time of Burke and Hare, Scotland was up and coming as one of the leading science departments, basically the medical side, especially. And what they always needed was bodies for dissection. But the only bodies that they were allowed to have were people that had been executed. So it was prisoners, and there was very few of them, obviously. So people saw an opportunity to make a lot of money, and they started robbing graves. They were called reclamation men, if I remember correctly. And it was very, very risky. But the law was a body isn't property, but if the body is wearing clothing or jewellery, then that's technically stealing and that's against the law. To take the body itself, it's a grey area, but it wasn't really, against anything. But desecrating graves, if you took the body and it was wearing anything, then you could get in trouble. So families went to great lengths to protect their loved ones. So in the churchyards, you'll see cages over graves. There was night watchmen all the time, patrolling. It was a very risky business, but it was very lucrative. And then eventually, Burke and Hare, I think, were kind of the pioneers of this. They realised that there's no point digging up these bodies when we can just kill people.
So that's pressure.
What they did.
Hopefully smells better. That's problematic.
Yeah, that was problematic. Yes. So they went on for quite a while. I think they killed probably over a dozen people before they finally got caught, and they stole the bodies to a doctor at the medical college by the name of Dr. Knox.
Okay.
Burke and Hare eventually got caught. Now, if I can remember which one was which, I believe Burke was the one that was hanged, and Hare got chased out of town because he turned on his partner and gave King's evidence. but it's believed that he didn't get far, that a mob tracked him down and finished him off. But in a kind of ironic twist, his body was given to the surgeons, and he was dissected himself.
Ew.
That's what I was about to ask. That's sort of justice right there.
That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty. I'm uncomfortable right now. Walking through history, like I posted, walking through history with Purple Lady and Generalissimo Heavy.
Absolutely.
Go schlepping up Hadrian's Wall.
Yeah, that's still one of my dreams to this day. Is I want to walk Hadrian's Wall all the way from the west terminus to the east.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I know, right?
Okay, you two idiots go. I'll meet you at the end. I'll be in the pub. I'm going down the pub.
Somebody just be driving along next to us.
See, yeah, that would be the perfect thing because, there's pubs all along the way. You walk a day, you stop at a pub, Sammy will meet us there.
Yep. I'll go get Starry-Eyed Girl. We'll all hang out.
Yeah,
hey, y'all,
awesome.
chat. Road trip.
Road trip.
Oh, hey, Lady Mist. How are you, girl? I wanted to highlight a comment. I mean, this is just this. I can't highlight it because Sarah's got
which
that.
one, sweetheart?
Cobalt and Pudgy, an update on Carnival Row, which is a show Generalissimo Hefe and I watched.
Yes.
They were finished with 6 episodes before the shutdown. They had 2 episodes left to film. They are working on CG now. Excellent, because I loved that show. Say what you will, but I enjoyed it.
I've heard it's really good. I haven't watched it, but I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, it's really good. I liked it. Anyway.
Definitely.
Go ahead.
There we go. Starry's up for a road trip.
Okay, cool. You can bring the boys too. It'd be fun. I mean, I'll keep it. I'll keep it kid friendly.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to meet the boys. Chill, little stinkers.
Yeah, because my area of history. I mean, I loved Edinburgh, and Edinburgh is just such a beautiful city. But my area of history is really more along the Roman period. Was it? Can you still catch the plague along Hadrian's Wall?
Yes, you can still catch the plague in Scotland because there are plague pits everywhere, and occasionally people will be digging, and they come across plague pits.
Oh, nice!
I thought that was just an urban legend.
No, there's about 8,000 bodies buried under Holyrood, where Holyrood Castle is, under the grounds.
Okay. Seriously, I thought that was an urban legend. I did.
Unfortunately.
There goes my plan to make money by selling bodies to the... Oh, no, never mind. Didn't hear anything.
La 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 la. Mexican Iron Man wants to know what plague pits are. No, pit. P-I-T. Live at the Love Shack. Is Britannia an accurate TV series? I haven't seen Britannia myself.
Neither have I. It's on my watch list.
Okay.
I recently finished and just now got Sammy into The Last Kingdom.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about the blower, guys. Hang on, I'll
our lawn guy over here. I just got her into, just watched the entirety of Last Kingdom, which I absolutely loved. Even though it's got some historical questions to it. Less so than the Vikings, but there are definitely a few. But I definitely did want to watch Britannia. Tell you what, I will watch that one, and if the girls will have me back at some point, I'll chime in on how accurate it may or may not be.
Yeah, that's the truth, because I could watch a program with Generalissimo Hefe goes, no, nope.
To answer Mexican Iron Man, what's a plague pit? A plague pit, during the Black Death, there were so many people that died all at once, they couldn't bury them individually because there wasn't the space in Edinburgh, and they couldn't burn the bodies because of the way the buildings were built. I'll go into that one in a minute. But what they did is they built great big pits, put the bodies in, and then just covered the bodies and left it. So there's pits everywhere. Some will only contain maybe 3 or 4 bodies. Some, like the one, because it's a much larger space at the base of on the grounds of Holyrood Castle. There's said to be about 8,000 people buried there.
Wow. Yeah. No wonder Britain is haunted as hell.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris is exactly right. It's just a mass grave. You had people dying so quickly that you couldn't do individual burials and take all the time to do that. So they would open up a giant trench that was, 6 or 7 feet wide by 100 feet long. And they would still give them Christian burials. They would wrap the body in a shroud and they would place it in there, and a priest would stand over them and give them all the necessary rites and all that stuff. It wasn't, just dumping bodies, but it was, how do you handle it when, a town goes from having 10 people die a day to having a couple of hundred die a day? It's just burials at scale. And because of that, if you've got some body that's been there for, potentially hundreds of years, we're talking Black Death, so, hundreds of years ago, there's still plenty of stuff down there that those germs can survive on. And if you open that up, you're going to have a bad day.
Oh, yes.
If you open one of those up, we're going to introduce July 2020's plague.
Yes.
Right.
And at this point in the year, would it be that big a surprise if it happened?
No.
For me, probably not. Let me just pull this up from Mark.
Oh, geez, Mark.
Absolutely. It's still, there was a couple of years ago a case in New Zealand, of all places. So
New Zealand?
Yeah. Black Death is absolutely still active.
Right. Robert Pearson puts something in the comment here in the chat. It says, I used to live 2 miles from Dead Man's Island, where no one is allowed to go because it's named after the plague victims they dumped there.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Is that? I don't know where Robert is from. Robert, are you from?
He's from the UK.
UK? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had no idea. Wow. See, America is such a young country that it's like,
Sorry, that just made me laugh.
Can you order me a gift certificate for 1 plague pit ticket for my ex for a European? Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, Mexican Iron Man. Okay, is today the day we make everybody suffer? I mean, it's fucking Friday. I mean, fun fact: Botox is developed from the plague virus. I know it's developed from a virus of some form.
Botulism.
From botulism. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
one of the reasons why I'll never have Botox. I don't care how many wrinkles I get.
Me neither. Nope.
Nah. You know what? I like wrinkles. Wrinkles, to quote Jimmy Buffett, wrinkles only go where the smiles have been.
That's right. Oh, and just so Mark doesn't put it in the chat, squirrel!
So, Jeff, I've got to ask, how long have you been studying history? Because you really know your stuff, especially Scottish history. Have you got Scottish in your ancestry?
Northern Irish in my ancestry.
Oh, okay, cool.
But I've always been a history buff. I mean, back in school, everybody, I started studying Latin in 7th grade. We offered it as a foreign language at my school. You could take French.
I was going to say, as one does. I mean, okay.
I was just thinking, is that like extra credit? But that's awesome that they offered it as a language. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, I studied Latin from 7th grade up well into college because, in college, all of a sudden you've got to take foreign language courses. I'm like, well, I spent the last 6 years studying Latin. I probably translated the Aeneid like 3 times now.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Yeah, everybody either picks the Aeneid or Caesar's Gallic Wars.
There we go.
So, but because of that, I'm very into that period of history. And history in general. People studying French and Spanish get much more of the modern stuff, but let's face it, if you're reading Latin, you got to go ancient. Either that or be buddy with the Pope, which my lack of being Catholic kind of precludes that.
Hey, Generalissimo Hafen, Latin in 7th grade, says Mexican Iron Man. Say something cool.
Well, we can always start with Arma virumque cano, Troiae qui primus aboris, fato profugit lavinia winnet.
Smart ass.
Wow.
Which is, of course, the opening to the Aeneid.
I was going to say, hopefully that wasn't just summoning a demon.
I know, right? I'm waiting for a pit to open up in the house going,
that's not till August.
That's okay.
I know there's a dragon on my lawn. Just saying.
Yeah. And then, of course, Caesar started his with, now I'm totally stuck on it. I'm stuck on the Aeneid now. I can't do
brain fart
of Caesar's Gallic Wars.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Damn, you got me.
Way down here, Dauphin Island, Alabama.
Yeah. Omnia Gallia tres partes de visa est. Unum est Helvetia, which starts with all Gaul is divided into 3 parts. The first ruled by the Helvetians, and et cetera, et cetera.
Wow.
But yeah.
Y'all last.
Okay, that's impressive.
Mark Squirrel.
It's like the only Latin I know, things like the very basic sayings, with Carpe Diem, those kind. But to actually speak Latin, that's impressive, especially pronunciation-wise.
And that's
I don't even try.
Yeah. And that's what's fun is, to be able to go back and see a lot of this stuff. And that's what makes history interesting is the ability to, when I would love to go to Rome. In all this time, I have never been to Rome, but I would love to go there. I would love to go to Herculaneum and, see all the stuff that was destroyed there. Not so much Pompeii, because Pompeii is super touristy, but Herculaneum got hit by Vesuvius just as hard.
Yes. Herculaneum is one that people kind of forget exists as well.
Yeah.
As you say, because Pompeii is so famous.
Yeah, that's true. Didn't AJ go to Herculaneum instead of Pompeii when they went on that cruise?
I believe so. Yeah, she went to Rome, and I think they stopped off at Herculaneum as well.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, guys, it's a little known fact. My daughter is more world traveled than me. Okay, when she was 12, she went on this kick-ass Mediterranean cruise with her grandparents, where they started from Spain and went all the way around, up the boot of Italy, up the zipper back of Italy, or the front rather, and then back around through France and then back to Barcelona. And I've been to Canada. That's it.
I'd love to go to Canada.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. My mother absolutely adored traveling. So she instilled that in me. I mean, she did the classic, when she graduated high school, her and a bunch of her girlfriends went off and did the classic grand tour throughout Europe. That sort of thing. And so she instilled an absolute love of traveling in me and took me traveling. Let's face it, little 15-year-old me didn't travel to Edinburgh on my own, but she was able to bring me there. And that, I think, probably is really what instilled my love of history. Being able to walk around and actually see things. They're that old.
That's
I love
really cool, especially as a 15-year-old, because sometimes you can think, but that it stuck with you. That is Cool. Yeah. A Mexican Iron Man says you're a badass.
Oh, thanks, Mexican Iron
Man. Just to go back and answer Starry, I don't believe I have any Scottish ancestry. Mine was all Irish, Welsh, and English. But I just love Scotland. Scotland's one of my favourite places to be.
Yeah.
Chris says, Samantha Joe, why does it sound like Canada is a bad place to visit? It wasn't. But that's just my point. I've never been off of this continent, you know, and I would like to at some point. But, you know, I just haven't had the opportunity because, you know, kids. I had to raise them first. And, you know, AJ had this, you know, wonderful opportunity to come up with her grandparents, and we couldn't say no. It was like, just get lost. She's gone for 2 weeks. Woohoo! Pudgy is nibbling on a hot dog and listening, so that's wonderful.
Aww.
I'm glad.
That's good. Yeah. Doncaster needs emoji equivalent of a squirrel with a claymore.
Okay. We'll have to work on that. I'll get 20-something tech support to see what she can come up with, and I'll get back with you. But you realize if you ask her to do any work, it's going to cost you. She ain't cheap. Trust me.
No, but you are more than welcome to take over funding her.
Yeah, that's totally cool.
So, Jeff, did you visit the Highlands as well, or was it mainly kind of the city areas? Do you remember?
Oh, it was a killer. It was an absolute killer for me. 15-year-old me, traveling through the Highlands with my mother. My mother loves Scotch. So we stopped off at all these amazing distilleries.
Oh,
and
yes.
I couldn't drink a drop. You know, I mean, we'd stop at the pubs and, you know, at the end of the night, and, you know, I could have a beer because, you know, at that point, you know, as a 15-year-old with your parents, you could have a pint. Or I'm sorry, I was drinking half pints at that point.
Aww.
Yeah, literally, as a half.
Adorable.
But yeah, you know, we'd go to all these great distilleries, and I don't remember any of them now. But yeah, you know, and see them being the roasting floors and the distilling pots and all this. And she was loving, you know, having the sips of all these great things, and I was just there like, okay, yeah, this smells cool.
But I can't get any of it.
None for you, fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh
but yeah,
God.
we did that.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And my favorite memory.
Sorry, I was just saying to get some of the Scottish whiskey. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Scotch lover. Scotch is my, and it's all from that region, you know. Okay, it's all from that region. I like Scotch from Scotland. But yeah, it's all the Highland stuff. Specifically, the Speyside is my area. I admit it. I'm not into the peat bombs, the smoke bombs, the super anything like that. Give me the sweet, smooth stuff from Speyside, and I'm a happy man.
Nice.
But yeah, the greatest memory I have of it though is back then, you know, okay, totally the other side of the island, visiting Stonehenge.
Oh.
And that was back in an era when you could walk into Stonehenge. You could stand in the middle of it and touch the stones. And, you know, nowadays everybody's, you know, on the other side of a glass wall or a fence or whatever, 100 yards away. But, you know, to be able to stand in the middle of them and feel the power, it was absolutely amazing. And
it's definitely a strange feeling to get so close to the stones. I've never been able to stand in the stones. I've been, you know, alongside the path that they've set up and seen them, but to be able to get in between them and actually touch them. I've been around the other standing stones, but Stonehenge itself, no, that is cool.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I learned. There's apparently a lot of hinges around the UK.
There is indeed, yeah. Yeah, some of them weren't stone hinges as such; they were wooden. So over the years, obviously, the pattern is still there, but they've replaced them since with concrete, just to mark out the areas of where the stones or logs would have been.
Okay.
But there's standing stones everywhere, and they're all along ley lines, and they all kind of converge as well.
Yeah.
But Stonehenge, as you say, is the most famous.
Yeah, well, it's so huge and beautiful. I mean, it's so picturesque out there in the middle of this giant open field and everything around it. It's still asleep.
One hopes.
Yes.
Shoosh.
With Arthur not far away.
That's going to be another show. We're going to do Arthur. So you're going to need to come back and visit with us.
Oh, yes.
Because I know you are so into that. And it's, again, I could learn some more.
Yeah. And combine the legend with the real Arthur, because sub-Roman Britain is an absolutely fascinating era. So, yeah, for people who don't know, Roman Britain, obviously, Rome ruled Britain for a long time. Britannia, the show, I imagine, is based on that. And then when the Romans left as the empire was falling, you have the people who were Romans and to the Roman life living and taking over that area before the Saxons and the Angles came and really kicked their butts and took over. But the whole era for those couple of 200 or 300 years is referred to as sub-Roman Britain, because the quality of workmanship of all the homes, the pottery, the everything else, all the archaeological detritus, the leftovers, is less than Roman quality.
Yes. But even today, you can see the impact that the Romans had, especially with the roads in Britain and the actual layouts of the cities. So they had a lasting impact on the makeup of the country.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to see how much the Romans did. Bath is a very cool place to visit. I imagine you've been there, Sarah.
Bath is awesome. I love Bath. Yeah, I'm going to have to take you there as well.
Yeah. They still have the Roman baths there that are fed by hot springs that have been running for millennia and keeping these wonderful Roman baths full of hot water.
Which I'm hoping, which I'm hoping, fingers crossed, will still be open, because obviously before all this happened, you could still use the baths.
That was going to be my next question. Were they still functioning enough to be used?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
So fingers crossed. They will be again.
Okay, I don't want to ignore this comment from Pudgy because it's so cute. He raised his paw and asked, if England has hinges, where are the doors? Bravo, Pudgy. Bravo. I think you may have broken our guest.
Mountains of Elysium says. Oh god.
The Doors are an American band.
Oh
god.
Now you've created a monster. Because the dad jokes are gonna fly. Squirrel. Great.
I'd like to visit Newgrange. Just to bring up what Mountains of Elysium saying. Newgrange in Ireland is well worth checking out. Thousands of years older than the pyramids and hundreds of years before Stonehenge. Absolutely.
Oh. I did not know that.
Yeah, when we make it over there, I think we're going to have to definitely spend some time in Ireland as well, because my family's from Ireland. I know Sammy's is as well.
Ours is from Ireland, yeah. And it goes back to Starry, when she asked about you, Purple, having, kin from Scotland. I have my own tartan as well from my family in Ireland.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's blue and white and black. It's really looks like a giant bruise. It's pretty cool.
It's actually got a nice color combination.
Yeah, it is. It's actually quite beautiful. And the funny thing was, my mom, when they were there, before my dad passed, when they were there, they brought back my tartan, the family tartan. And it was, oddly enough, the scarf was made in Scotland. Wait, what? Shite. Okay. So there's that little piece of info. And we are working on almost an hour.
Yeah, we're nearly at an hour.
Yeah. But
yeah,
it's
Scottish tartan and Scottish wool is a big industry there.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it was really soft though, not itchy like wool.
Cashmere.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was so beautiful. It was like, yeah. I still have it. It's buried in this house somewhere. I'll find it on one of my other expeditions and cleaning a room.
So, before we wrap up, Jeff, is there anything else you'd like to bring up? We've got to get you back on because this was awesome.
It was a lot of fun. We're having Jeff back on, guys. We don't know if it'll be regular because he has a job, but at least Darth Monkey Orath. Yeah, I heard Jeff groan. Yeah, that's dad joke.
That's my life with Miss Sammy.
Anyway, go ahead, Generalissimo.
No, I don't have anything else to bring up. So much of it is stuff that would be very cool to cover in other conversations. Yeah, I mean, we could easily do an hour on Arthur.
Oh gosh, yeah, that would be a good one. That would be awesome. Fun, yeah, separating the myth from the man, as it were.
Yep.
Okay, gang. Right. Lori thinks you are great.
Oh, thank you,
Lori. Thanks, Laura. Thanks everybody for joining us today. You guys are the best, and I appreciate you sticking with me through my mini rant this morning. But I could not let that go. So we're gonna say good morning to everybody, good evening, and good night to some of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So to Starry, mwah, I love you. To Lady Mist, Mark the Infinitely Tired Squirrel, Chris Persia, Darth Hester, Lori, my girl Lori, Saucy Wench, take it away, hon, because it jumped on me.
Carbottom Pudgy, thank you guys. Live at Love Shack, appreciate it. Psychodorf 9, thank you. Robert Pearson, thank you to our Wrench Darth Hester, appreciate it. Saucy Wench, Darth Monkey Aura, thank you, my love. Let me scroll.
Can we say live at the Love Shack?
We did.
Okay. Mark the Infinitely Tired. Oh, Derek, honey, I didn't even see you. Sweetheart, I'm sorry.
Mexican Iron Man, thank you, my love.
Did you get your to-go bag? Anyway.
Big thank you to the boss as well. Thank you, Loki.
Yeah, thanks, boss. Thank you. So,
guys, an even bigger thank you to Jeff for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeff. We really appreciate you coming on the show. You are such a wealth of information when it comes to history and things. I could not have you on our show. So thank you for joining us today.
You two lovely ladies.
Oh, you're so sweet. He has to say that by law. So anyway, you guys, have a wonderful Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. And there, but for the graces of the gods in Valhalla, we will see you on Monday. Everybody take care and be good to each other. Love y'all. Mwah.
Thank you, guys. Bye. Bye.